Beneath the surface, the ocean is never truly silent. 800 feet down, the water is pitch black and freezing. This is where submarines hunt. Floating above is the USS Gerald R. Ford, a 100,000-ton steel fortress, the most powerful warship ever built. But down here, size means nothing. The hunter listens, and the Ford is anything but quiet. Its massive propellers churn the ocean with every mile, leaving a trail of turbulent water that stretches for miles. To a modern submarine, that wake is a neon sign pointing straight to the target. So, if a submarine closes in and fires its most advanced torpedo, what actually happens? The answer will shock you. The ocean is a battlefield where eyes are useless. Light disappears after just a few feet. In this world, sound is the only thing that matters. A modern attack submarine is designed to be a ghost. Its engines are muffled to a whisper. Its hull is wrapped in special rubber tiles that swallow sound waves. It moves with slow, patient grace, listening to the symphony of the deep. It is not sending out noisy pings to find its target. That would give away its position instantly. Instead, it uses passive sonar, sitting silently and collecting every sound the water carries. And the Gerald R. Ford cannot be quiet. Its 4 massive propellers beat the water to push its incredible weight, creating a constant low-frequency thunder that travels for hundreds of miles through the ocean. Clear, unmistakable, impossible to hide. But here's the kicker. The ship's wake is an even bigger problem. It is a physical highway of churned water, bubbles, and temperature changes. For the submarine's computers, following this wake is as simple as following a paved road. The carrier's greatest strength, its immense size, becomes its greatest weakness. It cannot run, it cannot hide. It can only move forward, announcing its presence with every single ton of steel. Finding the carrier is the easy part. But here is what will shock you most. The weapon designed to exploit this weakness is smarter than you think. If you are proud of American engineering like this, write "proud" in the comments. Once the submarine has a perfect track, it calculates the final firing solution and feeds the target data into a torpedo. This is not a dumb weapon. This is a smart, swim-out hunter called a wake-homing torpedo. When it launches, it does not aim for the ship. That would be too hard in the open ocean. Instead, it does something brilliant. It searches for the carrier's turbulent wake. Its sensors find the chaotic water and lock on. Then it begins a deadly zigzag, swimming side to side, crossing the width of the wake, following it upstream like a predator on a scent trail. The wake leads directly to the source, those roaring propellers and that vast hull cutting through the water. But here is the critical part. The torpedo is not programmed to hit the side of the ship. It is programmed to swim under it. It aims for a spot 15 to 20 feet directly below the ship's keel, the structural backbone running the entire length of the hull. The goal is not to let water in. The goal is to break the ship's spine, to use the ocean itself as a weapon against the carrier. And the physics of what happens next are more brutal than the explosion itself. When the torpedo reaches the perfect point, it detonates. An explosion underwater is nothing like an explosion in air. Water cannot be compressed, so the force has nowhere to go. It all transfers directly into the ship. The blast creates a giant bubble of superheated gas that rockets upward because it is lighter than water. The first effect is called hogging. The gas bubble lifts the entire midsection of the carrier upward. Imagine bending a plastic ruler with your hands. The ship's hull bends with it, stretching the steel to its absolute limit. But the violence is only half complete. In a flash, the bubble collapses, and the water rushes back into the void with unbelievable force. Now comes sagging. The ship, just lifted up, crashes down into the collapsing hole in the water. The hull is whipped downward in the opposite direction. The entire ship is bent upward, then slammed downward, all in the span of a heartbeat. This double bend effect sends a massive shock through the entire structure. It is not about making a hole. It is about delivering a sledgehammer blow through every beam, every wire, every foundation inside the ship. Reactors are violently shaken. Catapults are knocked out of alignment. Command centers experience instant chaos. But here's the question everyone wants answered. Is this whiplash enough to actually send the Ford to the bottom? The Ford is built for one thing: to take the hit and keep floating. Its hull is made from classified high-strength steel, and the inside is divided into over 2,000 separate watertight compartments, like a massive honeycomb. If one section is torn open, enormous steel doors slam shut, sealing the flooding into a single cell. The rest of the ship stays dry. The United States Navy proved this works in 2005 when they took a retired carrier, the USS America, and tried to sink her. For weeks, they unleashed hell. Missiles, torpedoes, underwater explosives. She absorbed punishment that would have obliterated a dozen smaller warships. She refused to die. In the end, crews had to board her and manually blow holes inside to finally send her down. The lesson was clear. You cannot sink a supercarrier with a single hit. So the enemy changed their strategy. They stopped trying to sink the ship. Now they aim for a mission kill. That shockwave might not flood compartments, but it could warp the flight deck, making launches impossible. It could knock the nuclear reactors offline, leaving the ship dead in the water. The fortress remains afloat, but its fangs are pulled. Its aircraft cannot launch. Its power is gone. Yet this entire nightmare scenario hangs on one thing: firing the weapon without anyone noticing. And that almost never happens. The Gerald R. Ford never sails alone. It sits at the heart of a protective shield called the Carrier Strike Group. This shield includes destroyers with powerful sonar, aircraft that drop fields of listening buoys across hundreds of miles, and an unseen guardian lurking in that same dark water, an American attack submarine. While the enemy submarine tracks the carrier's wake, there is a strong chance a U.S. submarine is tracking its magnetic signature, or faint propeller noise. Every move is being watched, and the moment the enemy prepares to attack, it makes a fatal mistake. To fire, it must open its torpedo tube doors. That action creates a distinct metallic clunk and a rush of water. In the absolute silence of the deep, that sound is as loud as a gunshot. That single noise reveals everything. A nearby destroyer's sonar operator hears it. The P-8 patrol aircraft overhead correlates the data. The American submarine confirms the contact. The hunter is suddenly exposed. The response is not always a counter-torpedo. Sometimes it is something far more terrifying. The U.S. submarine sends a single, powerful, active sonar ping directly at the enemy hull. Inside that enemy submarine, the sound is catastrophic. A deafening metallic scream inside their own steel tube. It carries one unmistakable message. We see you. We are behind you. You are already in our crosshairs. In that moment, the entire mission collapses. The smart choice is not to fire. The smart choice is to retreat into the darkness. The USS Gerald R. Ford is more than a warship. Every sailor aboard is a volunteer guardian, standing watch so liberty can endure. They are the quiet strength in the dark, the unbreakable line between order and chaos. That is their duty. And that is our nation's enduring testament. Freedom, protected by the brave, guaranteed by the resolve of the United States of America.